Yo! Poor fucking bingo party there getting cucked. Hey, yo, we're here. We are... We have arrived at our yearly... Not really yearly, just... It kind of happens around, like, the fall every year when I play an Ace Attorney game. The exception being Leighton versus Wright, which was earlier this year. But regardless, this is one of the last times that we're probably going to be doing this, you know, until they release Ace Attorney 7. But who knows when that's going to happen? This is, yeah, we're here with Ace Attorney Investigations, which, from what I hear, is a pretty different Ace Attorney game. But I'm willing to, you know, I'm willing to get into it. You know, do the thing. I think DD Droid is kind of fucked up right now. Let me check. Yeah, they're kind of fucked up. Hold on. Are you still modded? Let me... Buddy, are you good? Alright, give me a sec. They've been spouting error messages after every chat thing, so I've been kind of like worried about the dude. Speak to me! Just, you know, it's kind of awkward if you're... Boink. Ah, okay, there we go. There we go. Ah, there's my buddy. There's my goat. Glad to see he's here. Yeah. Alright, we're here. Let's get into things with investigations. Because if I have to stay here on this godforsaken silent title screen one more second... I do not think this game is the worst in the series, however, I think it has the worst case in the series, hands down. Listen, I saw Letry's tier list and saw that, like, half of this fucking game was in the lower tiers, and I just instinctively out loud to myself said, oh no. So my expectations have been a little tampered, but... I'm willing to, you know, give it a chance regardless, of course. I'm not a person who, like, gets preconceived biases on things anymore. I try to, you know, actually make my own opinions about the video games. You gotta imagine that. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. To make sure the defendant is found guilty. What other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. Let me know if the audio's okay, by the way. It may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough. But a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Bam! Oh shit. Oh. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. Who is this fucking freak? Apparently a prodigy among prosecutors. Let's find out together. Yeah, I mean... I've heard this game has some weird fucking pulls from Ace Attorney history. I'd like to, you know, more or less I'd like to experience those for myself for the most part. Oh my fucking god, Ollie, I kind of... Maybe it was partially the dinner. I kind of just threw up in my mouth a little bit. You're right, you're right. It's not... I didn't throw up in my mouth because of Akane. Akane is good. It's just... just the Danganronpa mention. Oh god, the little we have actual, like, sprites this time, not just portrait sprites. Cool. Alright. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. It's been a while since we've seen Edgeworth on stream. Like, a few years, I think. A couple, at least. I know the last time we played in the Ace Attorney games on stream was Great Ace Attorney. You know, the last, like, fully Ace Attorney game. And then before that was, like, Ace Attorney 6 in 2020. So, yeah, it's been 2 years since we last saw Edgeworth. Huh? The door is unlocked. Reminds you of the... No, actually. No, you may not. Detective Gumshoe? Hmm? What's that smell? It's very familiar. Blood? It's also very weird to go from, like, Great Ace Attorney and Latent vs. Right having, like, fully orchestrated soundtracks back to the DS crust. And that's not a bad thing, you know? I love me some DS crust, always will. But I'm just like, damn, you know? Maybe I should have done these before Great Ace Attorney, now that I'm thinking on it. But it doesn't matter. Look at this fucking dude. What the? Oh, we're at 40. I didn't know we had that many quotes already. What is the meaning of this? Hello? Freeze. Identify yourself. Shut up. You've got some nerve committing murder at a prosecutor's office. Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrust into a multitude of cases in some very frantic and busy days. Well, he's got me there. Leaves. Yeah. The organizer. Oh, okay, yeah. It's just a court record. Fair enough. No, wait, I wanted to look at the badge. One of my possessions. Proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. Profiles. Uh-oh, we don't know who this person is. The victim in this case. Why was he killed in my office? Oh, okay, we did see them. We just don't know anything about them. Boink. Alright. Stretch. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. I see the Steel Samurai figure in the back. Ah! Yo! There he is! Ah! I missed you. I missed you so fucking much. Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. I heard that a murder had taken place in your office. I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. It has been... It may have been since 2020 since we saw Edgeworth, but it hasn't. But we haven't seen Gumshoe on stream since early 2020, and that hits a little more. Because those were like my starting days of streaming. You look a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Look what they did to your office! It's totally trashed! I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Whoa! So you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. Oh, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Is it really coincidence the murder took place in my office? Boing. We have the logic button, let's go! get the nagging feeling this is something important to keep in mind.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you?
No, not really. Especially because of this.
Key to your office?
For security reasons, this office's door has a lock built into it. Of course.
What do you mean, sir?
If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you.
Logic?
By finding a connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic.
So how do you use it? Logic, the hell is that?
First, I recall information through the logic button and then connect them together. Now to touch the logic button and recall the facts. He just has a remote control on his person at all times that has a logic button on it. Boink. Alright. What's the button? Okay, that's the button. Okay. Boink. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks. Which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as a mere coincidence.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir.
There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? Why did this happen in my office?
You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir.
Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. You have strayed from the path, Miles. Kills a great Insomnia NPC. Shit, you're right. If I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. The culprit is Mr. Somnium Rampa himself. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we?
Yes, sir!
High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. Boink boink.
Base of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir.
I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button.
Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just touch the partner button, okay?
Yo, we have a dedicated gumshoe button. Based?
I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir.
Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. There he is! Yo, we walking out here. We fucking walking. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here.
I think I've seen one of these before.
Care to enlighten me as to where?
Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model. I think.
Detective?
I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. Now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much except in emergency, so that's why I didn't recognize it.
So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. I see. Boink.
Honestly, even knocked over your chess set. It all set up ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games.
I had no idea you were interested in chess.
I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try.
In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. Though I don't expect the game to tax my mental acuity much. And here's the body! They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Alright. Boink. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area.
Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir.
In other words, he was shot.
Yup. Until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that.
Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Alright, discovered in my office.
Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir?
Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all.
Alright, if you say so.
I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer, When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to touch the organizer button. But the organizer isn't only for evidence, I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. Probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Fair enough. Bonk. The hand's all bloody. Let's see here. There's blood all over his... Oh, okay. Same thing. I'm spoiled by I'm spoiled by Great Ace Attorney because whenever you examine something in that game, it usually has like a check mark to let you know that you've seen the text for it. So if there's repeating text, I just won't know here until I click it. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. It's a police badge, detective. Oh hey, I have the exact same thing actually. What a coinkydink. Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. Alright, Buddy Faith. Fair enough, I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. But call me use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Is there anything else to look at around here, though?
Files all over the floor, sir.
It probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Alright. Glad we checked that, we got signs of a struggle.
Oh, I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. It's just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless.
I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room.
Well, I watered the flowers every day just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled.
Does he have a life? Come on, Edgey, he was doing his best for you. Why does he have his hand up his ass? Okay, we can't ask why. Because I think if we click this, it's just gonna be blood. Alright. Let's back out then. Boink. Alright, let's see what else we can put together. What's the killer after? I mean, maybe... Maybe there's something that we can connect here, but I don't see it just yet. I'll keep looking. Or maybe I should talk to my trusty boy Gumshoe.
You called, sir?
The info guard, I guess. I seem to have picked up a few good leads.
Oh, so now you're gonna do that thing you do with all that information, right?
What are you babbling about?
The brainy thing you were talking about just a few minutes ago, sir. Logic. You said that you can look at all your leads and info by touching the logic button. Then you pick the pieces you want to connect by touching them and hitting connect. That's your way of investigating, right, sir?
Yes, this is why this exercise and explaining my own method to me was unnecessary.
Okay, then how about I explain my logic to you next?
That's even more unnecessary. Damn, okay, these are just like, these two are just tutorial things, I assume. So notice anything, I guess? Is there anything you noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe?
Just thought I rushed over here as soon as I heard there was a murder in your office, sir. The investigation's just gotten started, so I guess there's not much else to say. So, were you the one who found the body, Mr. Edgeworth?
Unfortunately, upon my return, I found my office door to be unlocked. And what awaited me inside was this whole messy affair.
Oh, that's rough.
Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective.
Sorry, sir.
Damn, well now I just feel bad. Hey, look at this badge.
Your prosecutor's badge is really tiny compared to my police badge. Oh, but it's really cool, sir. Much cooler than my badge could ever be.
There's no need to suck up to me, detective. Anything to say about this, I guess?
I'm just a lowly detective, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest it.
Is it the only talent you have? Oh, wait. Yes, arrest the crime scene notes, Gumshoe. You brainless fucking buffoon, I love you. Hello. You have anything to report?
Sorry, yes, sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir.
And yet, there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes.
Talk about a contradiction.
Something out of the ordinary, huh? Why don't you look around a bit more? I mean, I assume since he's looking over here, we've already looked at everything over here, so let's just go around some more. Let's take a seat on the couch for a second. Think. Oh, we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on this sofa.
That thing looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too? Just for a little while, sir? Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end. Even once this case is over, I don't think he can afford to take any time off. Well, you know, if a certain somebody maybe, I don't know, stopped cutting his salary, maybe he wouldn't have to constantly work so much. I don't know. Just a thought. Okay, so I just can't look at this portrait. Maybe if I talk to this officer guy, I'll be able to. How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Well, I never. Okay. Is this another batch of fresh flowers? The ones that come with a card attached every month like clockwork for you? Yep. Speaking of that, let's see what's on that card this month, sir. All will be resolved. Wendy.
Hey, Ollie, there's your answer.
Oh, Miss Irony, how painful are thy thorns. Wendy, is that the name of that old lady with the whiny voice that That's enough, detective. You need not remind me any further. Oh, it's a trophy! The, Knight of Prosecutors, right? King of Prosecutors. It's not trophy, it's a shield. I'll send this to the winning prosecutor, right? Yes, but I've no real interest in the perceived worth of other people.
That's my goat right there. As for my own worth, my edge worth, if you will, that is something only I can determine for myself.
That's so slick, sir. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometime.
Unfortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me.
Jesus.
Well, it's a good thing my Steel Samurai doll was spared any harm.
Speaking of which, I still haven't sat down and watched any of that show. What's it about again?
Well, I don't know much about it myself, but the hero of the Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai. His goal is to defeat the evil magistrates. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. It's almost like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and the Nickel Samurai, along with a deluge of merchandise and even a new stage show, gives it presence.
You, sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy?
Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. And that conversation lasted longer than I expected. Let us return to the investigation. Edgeworth, you fucking nerd. It's been a while since I've sat at this desk. Oh, how I've missed you. So tidy that it's more than when I first bought it.
Oh yeah, being so polished it makes mirrors jealous.
Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time I was a weight detective.
My job's to protect your office, sir.
And you did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it.
That's harsh, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but you shouldn't say it, Edgy. Come on. I have to admit, Tedesca's never looked better, so I guess I can't dock his pay. Edgy, you have an addiction to docking this poor man's pay, I'm sorry to say. Hey, it's a ladder. Can we look at that? No?
Watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir.
The killer is going to pay. This tea set.
Yikes, you're really mad over this.
This tea set is very dear to my heart. It can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck.
What? I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks.
Alright. I think we have investigated everything in this room, more or less, so I guess we do have to logic it up. What was the killer after? The victim was a detective, so I mean... Maybe there's something there? Pieces don't fit together quite right. Damn, okay, fair enough, I guess not. I need a drink of water. The gumshoe voice is already tearing at me. You know, I'm always like, you know, I haven't voice acted in a while. Let's do a game where I can voice act. And then it's immediately my throat takes like 15 critical damage. So that's wonderful. Can I examine? No, okay. Well, actually, I can look a little deeper at this, apparently. Yeah, fucking, come on. Oh, that is literally just a photograph, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, come on, Perry. Revolvers from a detective, victim was a detective. That was right there. Let's not jump the gun too much. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time?
Yes, sir. On it now, sir.
Excuse me, pal. Let's see, what have we got here?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster.
So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver.
As I always say, you gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Slide bar the X and Y arrows to zoom out and hit the nitty-gritty.
Ah, okay. So we do got some, we got our crusty 3D models back, God bless. Oh. Hold on. That. Oh my god, it's so fucking close, help. Zoom out just a little bit, come on. I just see something there and it's just like, blip. Alright, let's look around then. Whoop! What was that? Oh, nothing, I guess. Let me examine this then. Looks like only one round was fired from this.
Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wrestling the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to... Oh. Jim! Why, oh why? How could this have happened to a guy like you? Are you alright?
Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be!
Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body.
The body? The body? Let's talk about him like he's some lump of flesh. Look at him.
Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night.
Sure, just in a blood-stained suit, pal.
Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor?
Why, yes I am. I'm Jock Portsman, prosecutor.
Oh my god, my dog needs to stop scratching up against...
Sounds like she's right up against the door and it's pissing me off.
Oh, whatever. Jim here is my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I'm also a prosecutor.
Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir.
So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office.
Yes, that is correct. It was you! You're the one who killed Jim! Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Only I can do that. Just calm down, okay?
I will not! I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Oh, fuck. Fuck! Wait, that means, I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then! You're Jim's killer! No way, pal, you've got it all wrong! Everyone calm down!
Mr. Portsman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know? Anyway,
Let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now how about a handshake to seal the deal? Oh, pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Now carry on then. It's your room after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there! Sir! I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner Jim. I should probably give him some space. Oh, hey, wait, the portrait's open now. Your jacket, sir! What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? Gumshoe, that's a big word for you, damn. What if they'd shot through it? It would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, Detective. There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods, and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. Okay, you don't even have to like press a button to select it. You just highlight it and it's there. Okay. When I spot something that's off, I should touch a deduce. Okay, no, you do have to. This is the tutorial. Okay. When I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Bonk, bonk. Eureka, I guess. This bullet hole is a contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and the second felled this frame. Hey, that's right. However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Other than the victim's gun that I've found, could there be another gun in play here? Perhaps. By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, that. It's a secret safe. A secret safe? Oh, I smell money. I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. If you could kindly move this frame out of frame. Roger that. Talk about dusty! I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here. I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. So, when did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now? I mean, nothing. Nothing is inside. We only use them to store especially important evidence while a trial's in session. That's it. Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. Alright, the secret safe is now in evidence. Neat. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Okay, do I examine it here or in the organizer? Hold on. Bonk. Now this is odd. You found something, sir? This keypad. Don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir.
Could you please dust this area for fingerprints?
You got it, sir.
I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. Okay. Picking up what they're putting down. As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. And rationally and calmly, play connect the dots with the information we have. I believe I figured out what the murderer was after.
Well, what is it, sir?
The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe. Making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. The culprit tried to open my safe. Was the killer's motive theft? I mean, it looks like it to me. I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. Maybe something with signs of a struggle? I mean, who's to say? No, actually, no, that seems like a little bit of jumping the gun. Although maybe, I mean, fuck, we have plenty of meter, let's try it. There is a possibility that the files displayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir?
Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even in a library.
Sure. Let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth.
And? So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth?
First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place.
You got it! Here, let me help. As this file goes here and that book goes there.
You sure know a lot about where these things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal, okay? Done.
Oh. It would appear the murder was definitely committed here.
Bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh.
I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf.
Yep. And the guy fell into the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out.
Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. God, Edgeworth's fucking attitude, damn, Jesus. That's definitely one thing that's different from doing things with right.
Yeah, but you know I'm no good with blood, sir.
I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. You know, yeah?
This is where the bullet hole lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh?
The bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred.
And I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. Put them all back, just as they should be, sir. It doesn't look like anything's missing.
Although it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. Let's deduce this real quick. Boink. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Crime scene notes, I would assume.
If that is supposed to be Edgeworth's, like, VA, it sounds a lot different than the, like, voice lines from the, base trilogy. There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole!
What do you mean, sir?
You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up.
What if the guy was shot while he was sitting there lying down, sir?
That would be illogical. The victim leaned against this shelf after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot.
And that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir?
It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? Position of the body, the precision of the handprints, and the order of the files. Maybe the order of the files, I mean, the handprints are there, no matter how you fucking, like, deal with it. And ergo, the body would be in the position as well, so I mean, yeah. I believe the order of the files was a bit off.
You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the file are wrong, sir.
Oh?
Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird.
Actually, the way they're organized now is the correct order. They're exactly as I see them in my mind's eye.
But the numbers are all out of order.
Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Ah, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out.
Think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved?
I finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be.
If you please, Detective Gumshoe.
As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith.
And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess.
Exactly. Then proceeded to shoot the victim.
But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. Why? Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. Wait just a second. Did we see that? But wait.
What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood?
I'd say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity, indeed.
No, wait, there's gotta be some mistake! Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me! Say something, sir!
It appears that one of my files was stolen.
Is that all, sir? What about me in my situation?
Is this what the killer was really after? Bro is trying the culprit is trying so hard to incriminate Gumshoe. And it just ain't happening. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me!
You can't be terribly pleased to hear your beloved partners is in the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Bro is not fooling anyone, yeah. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning.
You got it.
I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. There must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you gonna do?
What I always do in court, I'm going to cross-examine him. Yo, let's go. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique.
Ooh, how do you do that? Can you explain to me, sir?
Might as well. Alright, first I listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open the organizer and present the piece of evidence. Present the piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply touch the present button, but
That's old news. But it's not like there's gonna be a flaw in their testimony every time, right?
Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness by touching the press button. Sometimes by pressing I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony.
I think I get it, sir. I'll sure try this technique out during investigations too.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, Adam. I mean, of course, like, they literally told us that this fucker is the one who did it. That's like the Ace Attorney tradition. Except with Great Ace Attorney. They don't really do that in the Great Ace Attorney games.
Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully.
Alright, let's go.
Detective Gumshoe. You stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead.
Because those games are good. Hey now, hey, whoa.
Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. It will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice.
You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? Hey, Poke, we're playing the funny, edgy game. How you doing?
I can hear Jim's voice. He's calling for his killer's arrest.
Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? Yo, Nuz2. Yo, how y'all doing? How y'all doing this fine evening? I still think AA4 is the worst in quality overall. You mean game-wise or first case-wise? Because Yo, and Ollie? Holy shit.
There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence.
Mild cold? Ah, damn.
Rebuttal. The butt. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead.
Game-wise, first case from that game isn't bad, actually. Fair enough. I don't think I have a least favorite Ace Attorney game, honestly. Like, I mean, for me, it's probably a tie between, like, Justice for All and, like, Apollo, but both of those games still have, like, redeeming qualities. So, I mean, like, You know, I mean, I don't think there's a bad game in this series. There are just weaker entries. But yeah, that's fair.
Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding.
But but some of said letters are gone, so I mean. There it is, there's the iconic sound.
Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic. Bring a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. Can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it.
Oh, this is a neat little remix of Edgey's theme from the other games. Neat.
If you have the time to laugh, you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible!
What's impossible, Mr. Portsman?
Nothing.
The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spine.
It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder.
I think it's pretty obvious the file was stolen after it was written. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof.
Yeah, I mean, the S is gone and there's only half an H.
Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case. I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Good sprite.
Which means, what exactly? What does that make this dying message?
Another thing about going back to the DS games, I fucking miss the sprite work. Like, I do still like the stylized models of the more recent games, and I especially love how, like, the animations in, like, AA6 and the Greatest Attorney games have gotten, like, really fucking good. But man, it's good to be back to, like, this style as well with the sprites. They just look nice, they're iconic.
That's so low! I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir! I'm gonna get him, sir! You'll see! I'm gonna have him under arrest in no time!
Well, Mr. Portsman?
Brilliant! Absolutely splendid! Large deserving of Olympic gold!
I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. You win some, you'll lose some. That's how life goes.
Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up. However... What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me? But Mr. Edgey just proved that I'm innocent, pal.
Nice jacket.
Ha! That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence.
Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? Bro, either put the jacket on or take it off. Just choose already.
Well, I was thinking, did you know there's one other person with a key to this office?
One other person?
Hey! You there!
Yes, sir. What is it, sir?
Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? Lady? The girl's a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal, don't!
What's wrong with him all of a sudden?
I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, member of security.
Yo, Maggie! Long time no see. Oh, she got a casual fit now. Good for her.
Detective Gumshoe, sir.
Maggie! Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight.
I see. And your point is?
My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. What? If you're not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird.
How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room.
That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right, I did it. Fuck. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics.
Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason.
Alright, sure, what do you have?
It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
Yeah, sure, Chief.
Yeah, sure. Sure, I'd buy that. Sure. Fuck you. So you're saying that she used the master key? Thank you for the master key evidence.
Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say?
That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well.
That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me.
I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. Seems the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me the details is to press him. Alright, sure. Let's go. Reason for sus.
It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key.
Is it, though?
Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir.
Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal! But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time.
Should I hear Miss Bird out? Ask for more details. It never hurts to get more details. Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say.
Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies.
I'll be the judge of that.
Miss Bird, if you please.
I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir.
What do you mean by missing?
As in, it wasn't anywhere within the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it.
Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you?
I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words.
I'm not lying, sir.
If that's the case, I'd like to know. Why you have the master key now?
I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
Ha! A likely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again.
I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal. Trust me, you wouldn't want to test just how bad her luck is.
Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive.
Glad you agreed, Mr. Edgeworth. But...
Hey, Tepig. Yes, this attorney is ace and investigating, so true.
You still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Huh, her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe.
It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own.
Her intent?
From the messed up... It was the gumshoe voice.
Her intent? The messed up shelves to the wiped down safe. I'd say thievery.
Well, I mean, the thing about the safe, right? That's the wrong fucking button. Each prosecutor, only they know of them. Only the prosecutors know about their saves. Yeah, there's that animation I love. Do you wish to continue and such that Miss Bird was set on stealing something?
Huh, why not? It's the truth after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway.
That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. The existence of which is only privy to prosecutors.
Ugh!
I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan.
But she could have found it by accident while she inserted everything else upside down.
I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Ugh! Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then, are you proposing That the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses! What made you? What's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault! What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret saves. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. Sure, that's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret saves. And that means... Yeah, I know. I'd only just told him too. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird.
Excuse me?
I think it's tell him about, yeah.
I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it was self-defense, wasn't it?
No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. I'm as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to his office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key.
Duh!
Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us. Unless... Well, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him.
Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief?
I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out! This is Mr. Edgeworth's office! Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit! Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir, we had no choice but to accommodate his request. For now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of us understands. Now then, if you could remove yourself from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful.
Mark my words, Mr. Portsman, we will meet again.
That's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself. Then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear?
What a fucking bastard. What a piece of shit. Let me save. What a fucking rat, derogatory. March 14th. My guy cannot stick to a goddamn narrative, yeah. He's not just a bastard, he's a bastard that's dog shit at covering his tracks.
What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was, it was unbelievable.
Please maintain your professionalism, detective.
I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir.
We've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir.
True. So then, what now?
Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch.
Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway.
Really, sir?
For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Alright, let's go! Let's investigate the hallway! Edgeworth is the only brain cell in the group. And it's the biggest fucking brain cell here. I mean, it's the biggest brain cell in, like, the whole, like, damn, like, building, too.
Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Which is why we did this big, like, shot on this thing. Or rest, because there's something suspicious here. I don't fucking know.
Boink. What's this? Give me that.
It's... Is it that missing Zero Series file, sir?
No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day.
There seems to be a few pages missing.
Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind.
So what are these Zero files about, sir? Guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh?
Not particularly, it's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine.
Huh?
They belong to the high prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I keep mixing the voices up. It's been a while since I've done voice stuff. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were.
And that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right?
It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing.
I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case.
Yeah, I wonder, Gumshoe. Hey, Mags. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning the case.
I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream about being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth.
I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button. True, but let's talk first. Let's break the ice a little more. Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir.
That sounds like fun. Just once I'd have loved to play with them.
It sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir.
On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in all that well with them.
Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective.
She was under my supervision back when she was still in the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit.
I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought, until a few hours ago. Before I was about to clock out for the night.
You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct?
Don't worry. My whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures.
Huh?
Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building.
Shit.
I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. And now I just even managed to be named a criminal, so I've become a security guard.
That's a lot to go through in one lifetime.
I know, and just when I thought I'd finally found my happiness, I wound up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth, you can count on me. I'll do all I can to help.
Alright, bump. Hey, look at this fucking badge.
That's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? It proves that you're really a prosecutor.
Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than Gumshoe.
With that badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try that on, just for a little bit?
I don't think that'd be a very good idea, do you?
I guess not.
Second thought, they're actually on the same level. Okay, master key, point. So when did you discover the master key was missing?
By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where a security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those 2 times, it was not just gone, but stolen, sir.
Why such an important key stored in such an insecure place?
It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window.
Always, you say? Except for this time, correct?
Well, I admit that it was a bit careless, but I have my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I'd used it that I had left it out sitting on the ledge.
She used the master key?
Tell me a bit about that, please. Bonk.
What did you mean by you used the master key?
Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key.
There she goes. She put on the funny little hat.
I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right?
What is it?
That's right, I just remembered! The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir!
What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird. Quickly!
It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir.
And that's when you loaned the master key to him?
No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone! I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir.
I see.
And then, what happened after that?
Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. It was around 1:30 a.m., I think.
So, in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight.
Ding!
Okay.
Talk about suspicious!
I doubt you can say that. I doubt you can say you've never left your keys at home, detective. This calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, is that a fucking basketball over here? And, yeah, the basketball and the hoop are just right here.
What is a basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. True. Oh my fucking god. Hi, asshole. I'll get to you in a second because I just realized I can do some logic stuff. Boink, boink. I mean, you know. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story.
What? No way, pal! I mean, sir!
People play that after elementary school. I mean, they played it in my high school in my gym class that I had 1 year. I don't even know why they bother. You said that you locked up Mr. Portman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time.
Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right, it was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room. Sir.
Well, that's very fucking irresponsible. You pretended?
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir.
So in actuality, you never did relock the door then?
Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Haha. Fuck.
Hi.
It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly. Post-haste.
That sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open.
How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who's this guy again? That's Kaniza, right? Is everything alright?
Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds.
Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway and this room.
Oh, everything's okay, sir.
Word of advice, stay focused. You may start to lose even more weight. Boink. His name is Emochi. You're so right. I won't rest until I've explored
every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I don't need to keep saying that every time. He says it with every investigative place. The door's locked tight. I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
This is the office of a high prosecutor detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them.
Aha! So I guess only a great cat burglar could get it. That must be who our culprit is. You knew it would take a great ace attorney to apprehend him.
Might I advise you to return to that conclusion in whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Wait, run that by me again? Door. Yeah, wait, the door's locked. Hold the fucking phone. It is not somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold. There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. What Miss Bird said is true. Then why is the door locked tight?
Huh? You know you're right.
Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
I'm certain of it, sir. I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed himself that I hadn't.
Which means, what, sir?
Either means he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
She opened a different door? But how can you prove that?
There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine prints on the doorknob, right? The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything.
Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal! Do us a favor, too, you can live from this, okay? So, what'd you find out?
There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, detective. Sir, I have found only Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith's prints on this doorknob. So only 2 people's prints are found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive.
Huh? Lost, sir.
Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose prints should be on this doorknob? Oh, this should be Maggie's, right? Take that! Would you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent?
You mean...
Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. What have we here? Hello? Boink. Oh, okay, so that just pans around. I got you. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman?
Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match.
Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't really matter what sport he is, he's game. Unfortunately, he has no game, he gets no bitches. Don't ask how I know that, although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball.
Isn't the point you should be focusing on, detective?
You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad, Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean his toys up after he's done playing.
I think we've reached the end of this conversation. Also, the hoop is clearly moved due to this. Like, there's like a little imprint on like the rug or whatever. What's this?
Hey, what are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, what about a game?
That's okay, detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off.
You're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk.
The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'd better take note of this. Blink. Here. What is this?
Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. Let me take a sip of my water, though, first.
Hydration is important. It looks like a note from the victim. I brought 3 of the pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy.
Yeah, it's for Mr. Portsman.
Okay. Alright, I won't give up till the end of me. Boink. Don't see any signs of forced entry. According to the guard, no signs the lock was...
According to the guard, no signs the lock was picked either, sir.
Meaning that the door really was open with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from this doorknob?
Apparently the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think.
Whoever this thief is, they did a good job not leaving any clues behind. Alright, there we go. That's the investigation. Poking around this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely.
Huh? How so, sir?
In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case.
You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth.
As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman.
What? Mr. Portsman?
I knew it! That's exactly what my logic senses was telling me too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir.
It is anything but logical. Who could have known? Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. And what may, it's time to knock on truth's door.
Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letter, sir. All right, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. What? Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke?
Oh, it's no joke. We know, Mr. Jock Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case.
You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be bad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way.
You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl.
Who'd have ever thought it would come to this?
God, I thought you said gumshoe for a second. Okay.
Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. There was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know?
Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for is for sucking for explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up.
Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you have yet to prove anything.
Let's go! Testimony!
Ooh. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here.
Sorry, but we are not done here yet.
Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something.
Sometimes it's our turn to die. I missed your turn to die. I hope the final part comes out soon. I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on. With evidence. Edgeworth is based. I have no idea what sort of yada yada yada. There's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Well, I mean... You fucked up now, buddy. I believe you came. I got it back up. I got it back up. It just kind of died after I said come on accident because I misread the fucking sentence. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. It was Maggie. You would ask Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. It happens a bit too often for my taste, you know? But the room you would let Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we?
I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door.
See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Ha! How do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example?
That's right, they do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. What was it that Mr. Portsman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room? It was the fucking hoop, wasn't it? He pulled the come on and slam on her, didn't he? Fuck. Blech. Words are hard. And so is this evidence. Get fucked up.
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
It's quite a peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on me. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Ah!
That's very true, sir. So true, bestie. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's.
There are signs that the hoop has been moved. Just sit it in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had a girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me, and that's the place where we present something. So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears.
My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday.
Please calm down, for I intend to show who's the one truly covered in slime here. Kill him! Get him! Boink, I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. Well, actually, are you sure about that, come to think of it? 'Cause... Boink. That was a lie. What are you talking about? How is that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door. Or did you not notice? It's oddly flat. Right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Duh! Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room. The very room you had Miss Bird open for you. Ooh, shit, new track? Objection! That's just nonsense! You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. This mini goes hard. True.
Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you.
Take that!
I had your door dusted for Prince. My door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time.
You're right, I didn't find anything. Definitely not Mrs. Bird's fingerprints.
Her prints? What do they have to do with anything?
I don't know why I'm going for a surfer dude like voice for him, but also sometimes I notice when I do, it sort of slips into my Hotel Mario voice sometimes.
We gotta find the princess.
Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, her print should naturally be on the doorknob she touched.
Duh!
Further, all of the prints on my office doorknob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We all know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. Why is this killing expression the DreamWorks face? Fuck you. Also, we have a very specific name for the DreamWorks face here, buddy. The eye face.
Just what's so funny, pal?
Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What?
Mr. Edgey just explained it all and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery in just the midst of the crime already.
And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well. I'm a little obsessive compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. Man, shut the fuck up. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there.
You made that up just now, didn't you?
Furthermore, as for a note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse.
Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size.
Oh, but you can't prove that, can you? I'm going to kill him.
Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Portsman makes a good point. Can't prove they didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only realized that I had one just now. I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking.
Let's kill him.
I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had just told you sooner.
Portsman's alibi.
What the fuck was that, Barry? If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had an unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around, I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's a perfect alibi. Do you really think it's that perfect?
Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe! Sir, yes, sir! I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. Guys down Criminal Affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m. You see? All the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Serves, you came back to his office at around 2 a.m. It was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation with the culprit. But exactly that time, I was down in Criminal Affairs. Ask around, truly you're a detective. Don't fucking yawn on stream, Perry. God damn. Portsman's alibi may seem perfect at first glance, but I know there's a hole in it somewhere. All you do is press him a little and see what comes of it. You are correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2. Oh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. And it was then that you had the unfortunate yada yada yada. It is as you say, however. Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see. Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down with the sickness. Ooh, So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit. And then paid him off to corroborate your alibi. Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Ask around. Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony. And it was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you at around that time. See? I had the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve. Ah! Impossible! He actually does have the perfect alibi! What's wrong? Why a sudden sullen look on your face? Did you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line. It's time to get off this crazy train. You there! Sir! Please escort the young lady out. Remember, be gentle. Maggie!
Detective Gumshoe!
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If I only had a clue. I missed something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi. Jude I met could not have been Portsman. Then who could it have been? I need to calmly think this through one more time. And with logic. Let's go! Who could it have been? Once before, once after the murder. There was another handgun, so... I've done it! I've connected the dots! There were 2 bullets that left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life. And one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. These 2 things are clearly on the same level of, well, of value. Jesus. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once. I mean, it is entirely possible the second gun was used in my office tonight. But, seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person. Which could mean there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight.
I wonder what the connection is. What if I just somehow missed one of the fucking logic pieces and I just couldn't put it together? Supposing there was another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of two different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by a second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back...
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, seems I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Great! So you finally come to your senses.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Sir, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I've got those bars. I'd assume that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But, sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. Thanks for the clip, Ollie. And it means that in actuality, two culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean, two? Two?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were two guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know.
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. Let's say, for the sake of debate, in the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me. Which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this will be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? The Scrunkly. The Scringly Bingly.
Why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? Also, why are you calling him a Scrunkly? Am I not Scrunkly?
You are Scrunkly, Gumshoe. That's besides the point, though. He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
I didn't call him Scrunkly, I called him Scrinkly Binkly. That is entirely different. You're right, you're right. As a detective, that was the right thing to do, calling him Scrinkly Binkly. The only Scrunkly for a prosecutor can be their detective. And nobody else is detective.
When he came in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman. Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then... he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left a fake dying message behind.
He's such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated.
There was another visitor, sir?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed. It seems the thief found their prize.
The stolen zero file, right, sir? Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. Second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So the shell was getting messed up twice in the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times. Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. Well, how are you gonna dig yourself out of this one, buddy?
What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and it's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. No evidence and no bitches.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
Oh, you know something. I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? As if your theory is correct.
I mean, yeah, the basketball hoop should count for something. I'm just saying. Portsman's Alibi Part 2!
That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. He might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jin came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down in criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course, now is the time to be wasting time on dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we?
I know he's lying. I know he was here, at the scene of the crime.
I have to find a way to prove it. Yeah, buddy, do it. Do the thing. Thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? No. We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. No. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. No. When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at criminal affairs. Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith?
That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits.
And what of the evidence he brought?
They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant.
Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial. Let's slip through the cracks.
He brought me 2 items. A gun and a pendant. That are related to yesterday's case.
Yeah, but... That's the... I need to remember the button layout better. Brought the 3! 3!
Objection!
Motherfucker. Die.
Only 2 pieces? I believe the proper phrase here is you fail.
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully.
It says that Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. I don't believe it get tripped up by simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe! You have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Don't come any closer. I'm warning you. It's all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me. No! Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. But why would he hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For a section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. Okay. Let's look around. So look around you and tell me what you really see. Ooh. A KG-8 incident? That's a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case? Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once over. Okay. Oh! Somebody got their marinara sauce on it. Okay. That's blood, isn't it? Yes, I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood? No, you've got it all wrong. No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video?
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints. Ah! If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderers, you and Mr. Faith. No, impossible! I'm... Bro, he fucking ate that shit. He's gonna get metal poisoning. Or something. Bro literally just, like, vanished. He ate metal and vanished. Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. Blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
No, it was nothing. Really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it'd been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd throw my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail. You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsmouth really was one corrupt prosecutor.
Why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, Can't relate.
And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Ooh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
He never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just kind of clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization has been involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well. Mr. Portsmouth not willing to divulge anything, it certainly leads credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? Mr. Portsmouth isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence.
Take that!
Point. Person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happens to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me at gunpoint? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
This card? What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. Three-legged raven.
Even you should know what this is, detective. Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everybody's talking about. Phantom R?
No, it's a different great thief. It's the mark of the great thief Yatakarasu. Under the mark of the legendary bird, Yatakarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatakarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. Yatakarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatakarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What?
Let me see that. It's the location where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatakarasu. Yatakarasu. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. Murder in my office. The return of the great thief Yatakarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming, for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Oh, so, okay, the next case we're gonna be flashing back. I see. Turnabout Airlines. What's the deal with... Okay. Anyway, on that note...
My throat is fucking killing me.
So this may be a shorter one. But yeah, Ace Attorney Investigations is pretty interesting so far. It's got a pretty different approach to things, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing where things go. But for now, I think I am probably going to call it here. Because you can probably hear it. I'm like dying, I'm dying in here. But yeah, thank you for coming, thank you for staying, thank you for watching the show. I'll be back with this game Wednesday. See you then.